So, let me ask you something. Could you imagine trying to build a modern skyscraper, but every single engineer had their own personal definition of what a meter is? Or, what about trying to buy a kilogram of rice from another country, but their kilogram is way heavier than yours? It would be total chaos, right? Well, for a long, long time, that's pretty much how the world worked.
In the early days, to measure things, people just used whatever was convenient, and literally right there on hand. You know, a length might be measured in hands, or distance in feet or steps. And for one person, in one little village, it worked just fine. You could measure a rope with your arm or pace out a field. Simple, intuitive.
But you can probably see the problem here, right? The second you try to trade with the next town over or build something with another person, the whole system just falls apart. My foot isn't the same size as your foot. And this wasn't just a small inconvenience. It was a huge barrier to trade, to science, and to progress itself. The world desperately needed a better way. Okay, so let's get into the solution. To fix all this chaos, scientists came up with this brilliant idea to create a universal alphabet for the physical world, a set of core, unshakable foundations that absolutely everyone could agree on. They called these the base quantities. And the key word here, the one you really have to remember, is fundamental. These are the quantities that are so basic, you actually can't define them using anything simpler. They are the absolute bedrock of all measurement.
And I love this analogy, it's just perfect. Think of them like the primary colors of our universe. You can't mix green and purple together to get a pure primary red, right? Well, in the same way, you can't combine other physical ideas to create time. Time is just time. It's a primary color of reality. And the same goes for all the other base quantities.
And here they are. After years and years of work and international agreements, the scientific community settled on 7 of these fundamental building blocks. This is the official list, the very core of what we now call the SI, or the International System of Units.
So here are our 7 primary colors. We've got length, measured in meters, mass, in kilograms, time, of course, in seconds, temperature, in Kelvin, electric current, in amperes, the intensity of light in candelas, and finally, the amount of a substance, which is measured in moles. Literally everything we measure in the physical world starts right here.
All right, so we've got our 7-letter alphabet. But, you know, an alphabet by itself is, well, it's just a bunch of letters, right? It's not very useful until you start making words. So let's see how this builds into the really rich language of physics.
And this is where the real power of the system kicks in. We create what are called derived quantities. Now, these aren't fundamental. Instead, you can think of them like recipes. They're just combinations of the base quantities that let us describe much more complex ideas.
Let's take a really common one that we all just kind of get, speed. It feels like a pretty basic concept, doesn't it? But in the language of physics, how do we actually build it from our fundamental alphabet?
Well, it turns out it's a super simple recipe with just 2 ingredients. First, you need to know the distance you traveled. That's a fundamental length, which we measure in meters. Second, you need to know how long it took you. That's a fundamental time, measured in seconds.
You just divide the length by the time, and there you have it. You've created a whole new concept, speed, measured in meters per second. You've derived it. You didn't need to invent an 8th fundamental block. You just combined the ones you already had.
And what's really clever is that this even works when you combine a base quantity with itself. So a line has a length, right? That's a base quantity measured in meters. But if you combine that length with another length, say length times width, you get an area, a totally new derived quantity, measured in meters times meters, or meters squared. And this simple principle just scales up to describe pretty much everything. Complex ideas like force, pressure, volume, they can all be broken down into different combinations of our original 7 base quantities. It's a seriously elegant and powerful system. But, you know, having this amazing system isn't quite enough. For it to really work, for it to truly change the world, everyone, and I mean everyone, has to agree to use it in the exact same way. And that brings us to the crucial idea of a global standard.
This quote just nails it. A measurement consists of 2 parts, a number and a unit. A measurement without a unit is meaningless. I mean, think about it. If I tell you a package weighs 10, that's totally useless information. 10 grams? 10 kilograms? 10 tons? The number is meaningless without its unit.
So the only way forward was for the world to agree. to create one international standard so that a meter in Paris is the exact same length as a meter in Tokyo. This way, scientists can share data and engineers can work together across borders, all speaking the same physical language.
And for the longest time, the standards were actual physical objects. Check this out. This is the famous International Prototype Kilogram. For over 100 years, this specific chunk of platinum-iridium alloy, kept safe in a vault in France, was the definition of 1 kilogram. Every other kilogram on planet Earth was just a copy of it.
And the impact of this global agreement is it's massive. It's the invisible foundation our entire modern world is built on. It makes global trade possible, it lets scientists share their work, and it ensures that everything from buildings to bridges are constructed safely and efficiently. It powers all our international collaboration. So when you really boil it all down, it's pretty incredible. From just 7 simple, fundamental ideas, like primary colors or letters in an alphabet, we've managed to build a consistent, shared language to describe, measure, and build our entire physical world. It's just a really powerful way of thinking, isn't it? Breaking down something complex into its simplest, most basic parts. And that leaves me with a final thought for you. What other complex things in your life, maybe a piece of music, a favorite recipe, even a business plan, are actually built from just a few surprisingly simple fundamental parts?